Imagine waking up in the middle of the night. You can see your room. You can hear every sound. You are fully awake, but you cannot move. A crushing weight presses on your chest, and in the shadows, something is watching you. For centuries, people around the world have described this same chilling experience. A dark figure at the edge of the bed, a witch pressing down on their chest, a shadow that feels not imagined, but alive. The experience is so vivid, so terrifying, that nearly every culture developed its own name for it. In Scandinavia, they called it the mare, a demon riding the sleeper through the night. In Japan, it became Kanashibari, to be bound in metal. In Brazil, the demon pisadeira would step on the chest of the sleeping. In Islamic tradition, it is sometimes linked to the jinn, invisible beings pressing down on the helpless. And in medieval Europe, it was the Old Hag, an evil crone suffocating the innocent. Today, scientists give it a sterile name, sleep paralysis. But the question remains, why do so many people, across centuries and continents, report the same monsters of the mind? It usually begins the same way. You drift off. Then, sometime later, your eyes snap open. The room is exactly as you left it. The door, the lamp, the shadows on the wall. But your body is frozen. Your breathing feels shallow. Your chest is heavy. And then you sense it. A figure standing over you. Footsteps moving closer. Sometimes the being climbs on top of you, its weight crushing your ribs. Sometimes it whispers in your ear. Sometimes it just waits in silence, watching. One woman described it like this: I felt claws pressing into my arms. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. And when I tried to breathe, it felt like something was stealing the air from my chest. Many who experience it say it cannot be dismissed as just a dream. They swear they felt hands, smelled breath, heard words whispered that still echo years later. Have you ever felt something like this in your sleep? Some say it's only the brain. Others aren't so sure. But if it's all in the brain, why do the shadows feel so real? Sleep paralysis occurs during REM sleep, the stage where our most vivid dreams take place. During REM, the brain shuts down muscle control, so we don't physically act out our dreams. Normally, we slip in and out of REM without ever noticing. But sometimes, the timing goes wrong. You wake up before the paralysis wears off. Your mind is conscious, your body is trapped, and fragments of your dreams bleed directly into waking vision. Neurologists explain the heavy chest sensation as the body's struggle for steady breathing while paralyzed. The footsteps and whispers, merely hallucinations generated by a brain stuck between dream and waking. And yet, science struggles to explain one thing. Why are the hallucinations almost always the same? Why a dark figure? Why the feeling of a presence in the room? If these were random dream fragments, wouldn't they vary wildly? Instead, across cultures and across centuries, the shadows remain eerily consistent. In Newfoundland, they still whisper about the Old Hag climbing onto the chest of the unlucky. In Japan, Kanashibari is feared as a spirit's grip. In Egypt, it is sometimes described as the jinn pinning its victim. In Turkey, people speak of the Karabasan, the dark presser, a demon that holds you down until dawn. Despite oceans and languages separating these stories, the reports are almost identical. Paralysis, pressure, terror, and a dark presence. Psychologists suggest our brains reach for a universal archetype, the shadow person, a shape that is humanoid but faceless, vague enough to terrify, familiar enough to feel real. But others insist this cannot be coincidence. So what if the shadows aren't hallucinations at all? Some believe sleep paralysis opens a doorway between worlds, that the beings seen in those moments are real entities feeding on fear. Paranormal researchers point to the consistency of reports. Tens of thousands of people, from cultures that never contacted each other, all describing nearly identical creatures. Others tie it to alien abduction narratives. Victims describe waking in bed, paralyzed, surrounded by figures. They cannot move or scream. The parallels to sleep paralysis are uncanny. And of course, religious interpretations abound. In medieval Europe, demons called incubi and succubi were said to assault sleepers. To the faithful, these were not dreams but attacks from the supernatural. Science calls it hallucination. Folklore calls it monsters. Believers call it proof. Speak to anyone who's experienced it, and the terror is undeniable. One man recalls waking to see glowing red eyes in the corner of his room, staring for minutes that felt like hours. Another describes floating above her own bed, looking down at her body, utterly unable to scream for help. Even after the paralysis ends, the fear lingers. Many are shaken for days, convinced they truly encountered something beyond dreams. So what is sleep paralysis? A harmless brain glitch during REM? A shared psychological archetype? Our deepest fears given form? Or evidence that in our most vulnerable state, we are never truly alone? Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. Those who experience it don't need convincing. For them, the monsters of the mind are as real as anything else in the waking world. And maybe, just maybe, they're waiting in the shadows for you. If this story gave you chills, make sure to subscribe for more mysteries of the mind. And tell me in the comments, have you ever experienced sleep paralysis?